Hello, everybody. Welcome to my first video. I'm a liar. This is not my first video. This is the first art log that I'm making for myself here. Just put my progress out there for myself. I put this on the channel. And maybe in hopes to have people, I don't know, have actual artists give me advice or some shit. I don't fucking know. But really, I'm just here to put my progress in here. Just do a bunch of different things here. But So first off, I would say that this is not my first time trying, to draw and such, or becoming an artist, quote unquote. It is, I've tried to do, or at least try to do artwork, or attempts of being better at drawing. Just, I never really stuck to it. So this series is gonna be what I'm gonna be doing once a week. Just have me just have me get on track, or at least it's my way of seeing progress for myself here. So, also everything's gonna be really unscripted here. So I expect a little scuffness here, and the video quality is gonna be a little low than what usually are, since again, it's my progress. I don't really care, and I want to try to make it less editable, or less edits as possible, so I can actually see my own progress here. So first day, I drew on my notebook, or on my sketch pad, I should say. Majority of the time, I drew a few boxes here and there. I did like line control art, and you know what? I've already, and I'm like, and I was thinking like, I'm gonna start drawing digitally, because I have a Wacom tablet that's just lying around in my closet, just doing nothing. And since old and behold, I downloaded Krita, which many, free artists who doesn't want to pay money for Clip Studios or Adobe and all that. So I just started on that, and holy shit, it was really hard to draw, because I don't have the roughness of the paper, and holding the pencil in a way where you can manipulate how lines work. And that's very different from digital art. That's something I noticed very, immediately, and it's just really hard to do. So for the first day, I just also did line control. I made straight lines, diagonal lines, horizontal, all that. Trying to make circles too. And since my tablet is so fucking small, it's just hard. It's a little harder for me to get used to, since how smooth the tablet is and how fucked up the nubs are. Because for me, from playing Osu for a few years, I don't hover. No, I drag the pen on the tablet, and it fucked up every single nubs I have. So I'm just stuck to this, somewhat decent nub, and I just drew with that, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna draw a bunch of boxes. I'm gonna get used to this feeling. And so this is just the beginning of my digital art days, and I still draw from a sketchpad, just not as much. So I'm doing whatever the fuck I want here. So but the second day, I also drew boxes in different perspectives. I rotated a box from 2-point perspective onto the 3-point, which I'm impressed about for myself, because yes, and although that I have already have experience drawing 3D boxes and having the understanding of how perspective works, I'm kind of surprised because I'm still not used to the tablet. I'm still drawing on that, and I'm a little happy with the end result of all that practice. And I would safe to say that you know, hey, I'm pretty good at drawing boxes in 3D, kind of, maybe not really. So, let's just whatever. The third day, however, I didn't really do much. You know, I just also did more line control here. You know, squibbly lines, diagonal, whatever. Also drew a little bit of bust circles as well. But also on that day, I also tried making a face, making a head. You know, using this method that, you know, instead of just drawing a circle, you should also draw a box. Which, whole and behold, it didn't really work too well. So I just grabbed a reference instead, because I tried to do that shit from imagination, which I cannot do yet, which is my first mistake. It's like, this is the first week, dude. You're not that good yet. Wake the fuck up. Get a reference. And so that's what I did. I grabbed weapons from Pinterest. I slapped it on there. Something easy, you know, something simple. I just, you know, put simple shapes on there. Shape of the head first. I drew some lines of where the eyes are positioned at, the eyebrows as well, where the hairline's at. And afterwards, I just slapped on a box on there with what it looks like in a form of a box. And you know what? I did pretty good on that. You know, it's safe to say I did pretty good on that part. On that part only. Because afterwards, I tried to do this without overlapping on the reference. And hold and behold, I fucking sucked. I sucked so hard. Because the first mistake I made was the box was too small. The box was too small, because where the fuck is the chin at? I don't know where the chin is at. Because I looked at the other references, I'm like, oh my god, it's a rectangle. It fits the whole face, the whole head in there. And that's not what I did. No. It's just the jawline. Just to the jawline, not the chin. But no, it's supposed to be at the chin, so. You know, I did my best on that, and I just moved on. Moved on to the next art piece, which I also found a new problem for myself, which I did not know, is that I don't know how a head works. Again, I see another problem is that I struggled a little bit of placing the ears. Because I had to find a 3D reference or a 3D model for it. And I'm just still struggling on how ears, because I have a distinct idea. I have a small understanding how an ear works. But I just couldn't do that, so I just picked another piece from the same artist. And so it may have made it a little bit easier because it's making the same pose. You know, it's just the head looking down. It's just forward. Fuck me, I'm sorry. Any other pose in there. And so I did the same thing. You know, I drew lines. I made a little simple, turned it into simple shapes. Which was, hey, you know, it's a little bit easier because I just did that shit. And lo and behold, when I tried to, you know, practice doing that, I did also struggle again. Why? Because I didn't realize the box was also a little too small for the fucking head. Because it's not supposed to be a square. It's supposed to be a rectangle. And that's how heads are. Heads are not squares. They are rectangles when you draw them in a 3D perspective. And that's not what I did. No, I did not do that. And that's something I gotta keep in mind later too. Because I kept that in mind later. Which is good on me. I made a mental note on that. And saying like, hey dude, fucking make a rectangle when you make a head. And I kind of forgot about that. I'm gonna be real with you. But hey, you know what? I shouldn't be too hard on myself. It's only the first week. You know? Make sure I know how box works. You know, I know perspective kinda. Just, I don't have enough experience on drawing heads or the body altogether. But this is the first week, man. I'm figuring this shit out. You know, now, this is the first week. I'm figuring this shit out. And so, the next day, I just moved on I started doing cylinders. Yep, I'm from boxes to cylinders. Fuck, I can't say it. I can't speak. Yeah, from boxes to cylinders. That's, I'm moving up in the world. Perspective. Cylinders are a lot easier. The more than anything, I just pulled up a reference from Pinterest again. And cylinders are just. It's just what you take a circle, and if you turn it a little, it's a little bit oval. It's an oval shape. That's what it is. It's just an oval shape. And you turn it again, it's just a little, the oval is a little thinner. And the base of it is going to be longer. So that's how perspective works. I'm starting to understand a little bit more. And that's literally the nutshell. Perspective, they say it's the easiest thing to understand. Which I can say why. So I went for construction. I stacked boxes together, which I do have a little bit trouble with. Especially with cylinders, because a while back I tried, trying to deconstruct the arm a little, and my god, the arm, or at least the first half of the arm, is too big, and the forearm is too short. I'm like, fuck, and then the hand is even worse. It's so small. Than a smaller hand, and I'm just, I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on trying to make a head, trying to get my minds off things, because the way I work is just, because I get bored really easily, so I gotta distract myself a little from all this learning, because I fucking hate learning as much as the next guy, but I still want to do better. So I figure I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and so I decided to make a head. Now, this is the part where I discovered that, hey, the head is not a square. Make it a fucking rectangle, you fucking idiot. Because now, look at that. So, I did that, and now, oh my god. I'm actually a little bit happier than how it looks now, because the head doesn't look weird. It looks like a fucking head. A head doesn't look like a fucking head, so it's a little sketch, because I haven't made a head in such a long time. I try to make it I used to make it in circles first, and then I just did a circle first, just like every other artist in 2019 mostly do, and they copy other people. So I did that. The eyes, I kind of have a little bit of grasp on the eyes. It's just, the end product is just, the eyes could do a little work, because when I make this, it just shows that where I am at in my journey for the first week. Because on top of my experience of the past and into now, I can clearly see where I'm at in terms of drawing ability, my ability to observe shit, and what I'm gonna be doing for the next week. Because hey, this is what happens when you do whatever the fuck you want for first week. Because you get to see where you're at. You get to draw whatever you want first, instead of just blindly following a guide. And I made notes, but my dumb ass forgot to save. My dumb ass forgot to save the thing, so I lost that. But good thing I had this video. So now I know. Well, when I forget, I'm gonna look back in this video and like, hey, what the fuck am I? Like, what am I supposed to learn this week? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to learn the fucking eyes. And yeah, that's it for my entry for this week. This will happen. Now I'll be uploading this once a week on Sunday or Monday, if I ever feel like it. Maybe I'll make the quality a little bit better, but who knows? But for the first week, it just sometimes I just For the first week, I don't know why I just wanted to give up too, because this is too much work, man. I'm never gonna make it. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you pussy. You gotta do this work. You're gonna work hard. You're gonna put in the fucking hours. And it's not fucking quitting, because because you're not a fucking you're a quitter. That's what I am. I know that. Stop being a fucking quitter, man. You're wasting people's time, bro. You're wasting your time. Come on. So yeah, this is the first entry. Yeah. So, anyways, leave a comment or something. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah. So see you next week.